Okay, for the question 1, in here we already have the numbers and we have to find the answer or we have to complete the box, so later the statement or the equation will be correct. This is 6 minus negative 2. Remember, minus and negative, they can combine become plus, so we can read it as 6 plus 2. This is minus and negative, we can make it into plus. So now we only have 6 plus 2, that's why the answer is 8. For the second answer, it is second part, 32 divided by negative 8. You know that 32 divided by 8 is 4. The 32 is positive, the 8 in here negative. Positive divided by negative number, the answer will be negative. That's why it will be negative 4. For the next question, we have if we do the negative 4 times 3, it will be only negative 12. So I need to multiply negative 12 with any number to make it into 24. We know that 12 times 2, it will be equals to 24. Because in here the 12 is negative, that's why I have to put negative on it. Because negative times negative, it will be positive. Is there anyone have question for the question 1 or getting confused still? Hello?
No, teacher, not confused.
Okay. Really, for sure, no confusion?
Yeah.
Okay. If you are not confused, I will continue to the next question. So not all of you are turning on the camera. If you don't have any internet trouble, I think it will be better if you turn on your camera so I can check what are you doing at home. Now for the next question, for the question 2, put a ring around the number that is divisible by 4. To check if the number is divisible by 4, you can just count the last two digits. 82 is not divisible by 4, so no. 18 is not, so we do not pick the 218. 81 is not divisible by 4, but the number 12 is divisible by 4. So in here the answer is 812. If we check divisible by 4, we just need to check the last two digits. If the last two digit is divisible by 4, so it means the number will be divisible by 4. That is for the question A. Is there anyone having question for the question 2A?
No, teacher.
Okay, for sure. The others, do you have any question? No? Okay,
No.
for the okay. If you have no question, I will move to the question 2B. Tick to show whether each of these statement is true or false. 15 square, it means 15 times 15. 15 times 15, the answer is 225. That's why I tick the true box. In here, square root of 144 is equals to 72. I tick the false box. Can you tell me what is the correct answer for the square root of 144? Yeah, someone said it is 12. Is there anyone who disagree?
No.
Yeah, square root of 144 is 12 because 12 times 12 is 144. Now for the last question, 4 to the power of 2 is equals to square root 64. 4 to the power of 2 is equals to what number? Anyone knows? 4 to the power 4 to the power of 2, 16. Now if square root of 64, what number it will be? Square root of 64, what number it will be? Sorry.
8.
Yeah, 8. So now we have that 16 is equals to 8. So it means the statement is false because 16 will not be equals to 8. That's why I tick the false box. Is there anyone have question for the number 2? Or maybe I talk too fast? You get confused or something?
No questions.
For sure, no question?
For sure.
Okay, if you have no question, I will move to the next question. to the question 3. Later, if you have any question, feel free to interrupt me. I will not get mad if you ask me so many questions. I will move to the question 3. For the question 3, Yanis worked out the answer for 20 minus 2 times 3 times 5. This is the working, and then I said that the working is wrong. It's not correct. And my reason, because when we use the bit mass, remember, even though it is A first then S, it doesn't mean that we have to do the addition first and subtraction later. No, because addition and subtraction, they are in the same level. So whatever comes first, we do first. Now, for the first sentence, for the first step that he make, he already multiply 2 times 3. That is already correct. She did the 2 times 3 first. And then now when she has 20 minus 6 plus 5, she did the addition first. This is the mistake that she made. She's supposed to do the subtraction first, not addition first. Is there anyone who get confused?
No, teacher.
Okay, so if it is bit mass, remember, if it is bit mass, even though it is division and then the handwriting, it says division then multiplication later, it doesn't mean that we have to do the division first always. No, it depends on the calculation. If the question it says multiplication first, so it means we have to do the multiplication first. If from the question later we have division on the left part, so it means we have to finish the division first, because division and multiplication, they are on the same level. Whatever comes first, you do first. Do the same thing for the addition and subtraction. It says A first then S, so it means addition first and subtraction. No, it doesn't mean that we have to finish all the addition and then we go to the subtraction, because addition and subtraction are in the same level. We do whatever comes first. So like in here we have 20 minus 6 plus 5. In here we have the subtraction and addition, but subtraction comes first. That's why we have to finish the subtraction first. We have to finish 20 minus 6, which is equals to 14, and then after that we plus it by 5. That's why we got it as 19. Is there anyone have difficulty still or getting confused at question 3?
No,
Is there
teacher.
anyone? No? Okay. If you have no question, I will move to the question 4. Write down the value of 2 to the power 0. Remember, everything to the power of 0 is equals to 1, not 0. That's why 2 to the power of 0, the answer is 1, not 0. Some of you write it as 0. The correct answer is 1. Everything to the power of 0 is 1. Now for the question 4b, write the 2 to the power of negative 3 as a fraction. When it is the power is negative, we have to change it into a fraction, become 1 per. It's always 1 per. It will never be 2 per or 3 per something. It always start with 1 per. And then now the indices we have is 2 to the power of negative 3. When it become a fraction, the negative will be gone. So we write it as 1 per 2 to the power of 3. 2 to the power of 3 is equals to 8. That's why it will be 1 per 8, because 2 times 2 times 2, the answer is 8. Is there anyone having any question? Or maybe...
Teacher, I still don't understand how do you get to 1 in up.
Yeah, because it is a rule when, okay, maybe I can, do you still remember if I have this one? Wait, let me, 2 to the power of 2 divided by 2 to the power of 5. Can you tell me what is the final answer? 2 to the power of how many?
Negative 3.
Yeah, negative 3, right? Okay, that is correct. You got 2 to the power of negative 3. Now, if we expand the power into a number 2 to the power of 2, I can write it as 2 times 2. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Yeah, 2 to the power of 2, I will write it as 2 times 2. When it is divide, I can make it as a fraction. I will do a fraction like this. 2 to the power of 5, it means there are 5 numbers of 5. So it will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So it will be like this. Is there anyone who disagree if I write like this for 2 to the power of 2 divided by 2 to the power of 5? I will write it as 2 times 2 divided by 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. After that, we can do cancelling out, right? So we will cancel all the numbers in here. The number 2, I will cancel with the number 2 in here. This number 2, I cancel the number 2. So because 2 I cancel with 2, it will be left as 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. For the bottom, the denominator also, 2 divided by 2 is 1. This is also will be 1. This is also will be 1. So now the leftover 1, we only have 1 times 1. 1 times 1 is equals to 1. Now 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2, it will be equals to 2. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2 is 8. That's why we get 1 per 8. Is it clear enough, or is there anyone who get confused still? That's why we always have the 1 at denominator. When we have any indices with a negative power, we can just directly write it as 1 per any number. The indices we can copy paste without the negative sign. In here, 2 to the power of negative 3. When it is become a fraction, it will be only 1 per 2 to the power of 3. It is clear enough, Alvin, or anyone else still having any question? Or maybe my explanation is still confusing for you. Hello? It is clear enough? Okay. If you have no question, I will move to the next question. Whenever you have question, feel free to interrupt me. Do not be afraid to ask me any question. Okay, for the question 5, we already have the example in here. We look at the example first. When I have number 2 and then 2 cube, it means 2 to the power of 3. The answer will be equals to 8. 2 to the power of 2, it will be equals to 4. Now for this question, we already have the number 64. So I have to find how many cube or how many to the power of 3. The answer will be equals to 64. We know that 64 is equals to 4 to the power of 3. That's why in here I write the answer as 4. Now for the next circle, I have to square the number 4. So it means 4 times 4. 4 times 4, the answer will be equals to 16. Is there anyone who get confused or still do not understand with question 5? 128 divided by 2 is equals to 64. Yeah, 128 divided by 2 is equals to 64. That is correct, but you have to read the question carefully. The question, it says cube. So I need to find what number to the power of 3. Later the answer will be equals to 64. That's why you cannot write it as 128 divided by 2 on the first circle. If you write it 122 like this, 128 divided by 2, yes, the answer will be equals to 64. But now you have to read the rule given. The rule, it says cube. So I have to find any number to the power of 3 when as long as it is equals to 64. I know 1 to the power of 3 is equals to 1. 2 to the power of 3 is equals to 8. 3 to the power of 3 is equals to 27, and I have 4 to the power of 3 is equals to 64. That's why I take the number 4 in here. You cannot write it as 128 divided by 2. Is there anyone have difficulties or getting confused still? Is there anyone who get confused? Hello?
No, not confused.
Okay, really? No confusion? Okay, if you have no confusion, I will move to the question 6. For the question 6, write 28 as of its prime factors. When it says prime factors, product of prime factors, there is written as a product. Product means times, so you have to find any number as long as it is prime. When you multiply them, the answer will be equals to 28. So the only thing that you can do to help you is making a factor 3. So 28 I can divide it become 7 times 4, and then the 4 I can break down into 2 times 2. So now I have the prime factors which are 2 and 7. But if I do 2 and 7, when I multiply them, the answer will not be equals to 28. So it means I have to write all the numbers in the end of the branches of the factor 3, which are there are 2 numbers of 2 and 1 number of 7. We need to multiply them because product it means times. So I need to make a multiplication. Later do not only write it as 2,7 or 2,2,7. It's not right because it is product. You have to write it with a multiplication sign. You can write it as 2 times 2 times 7, or you can simplify the 2 times 2 into 2 to the power of 2. That is also okay. Is there anyone have confusion at question 6a before I move to the question 6b? Is there anyone who get confused? Or maybe I talk too fast, you do not understand still? No? Okay, no one asked me through the chat box, so I will assume that all of you already understand. I will move to the question B. Write 210 as a product of its prime factor. So, because it is product of its prime factors, we need to do the same thing. We need to make a factor 3 again of 210. When we make a factor 3 of 210, later let me write with a small handwriting. So 210 we can break it down into 21 times 10, and then from 21 we can break down into 3 times 7, and then for the number 10 we can break down into 2 times 5. That's why for the final answer I will have it as 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Is there anyone who get confused, or maybe I talk too fast, you do not understand still, or anything still confusing? Please let me know. Do not be afraid to ask me any question. Is there
Okay.
anyone who get confused? Is there anyone? No confusion? Are you sure? Okay, so for the 210, for the product of its prime numbers, it will be 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. But if the question only asking what are the prime factors of 210, you write it with a comma, so 2, 3, 5 and 7. You don't have to write the symbol of multiplication when the question did not mention product of it a primes number. You don't have to write it as a multiplication. But when the question says write the number as product of its prime factors, you have to find all of the factors and you have to multiply them, and make sure when you multiply all of the factors, the answer will be equals to the question. Like 28, if I do 2 times 7, it will be only 14. So I have to write the number 2 twice. But for 210, 2 times 3 times 5 times 7, It's already 210, so I will write it as 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Depends on the number that we got at the end of the branches of the factor tree that we make. Is there anyone have question or get confused until question 6b? No confusion? Okay, if no confusion, I will move to question 6c. Find the highest common factor. When it is highest common factor, we have to find the common factor. After we find the common factor, we have to take the smallest power. Smallest power. So now let us check. From the product of each prime factor, there are two numbers that is common. This is 2 to the power of 2 and 2. They are common. So I have to take the smallest power. So I will take the number 2. And then after that there is another number that is common, which is number 7. So I take the two numbers of there are two 7 in here because they are same, they are equal. So I take the 7 once, so it will be 2 times 7, which is equals to 14. Is there anyone have question?
No, teacher.
Okay, if you answer it as 14, yes, you will be getting a full mark because this is 1 mark if you answer it 14. Okay, I will move to the question D. Find the lowest common multiple. When it is lowest common multiple, you have to take all the types of number and then you have to take the highest power. Highest power. So now we will take from the common one. So from number 2 there are 2 and also 2 to the power of 2. We have to take the highest power. That's why I take the 2 to the power of 2. And then for another number, because we have to take all the types of number, there are number 3 and 5. Even though the number 3 and 5 is not exist for the product of prime factors of 28, we have to write it still as lowest common multiple because we have to take all the types of number. For number 7, they are common. I have to take the highest one. Since they are the same, so I will just take 7. So it will be 2 to the power of 2 times 3 times 5 times 7, which is equals to 420. Is there anyone who get confused or maybe I talk too fast or something? Is there anyone who get confused? Hello? No confusion? Feel free to ask whenever you have any question. I'm fine if you want to interrupt me whenever you have any question rather than you stay quiet. Is there anyone having any question? No question? Okay. If you have no question, I will move to the next question. To the question 7. For the question 7, we have to find the multiple of 12. Multiple of 12 in here, it means the number is divisible by 12. So the number that can be divided by 12 only number 48. That's why for the 7a, the answer is 48. For the question B, we have to take the prime number. If prime number, it means the number only having two factors, 1 and the number itself. It cannot be divided by any other number. Number 6 can be divided by 2, so it's not a prime number. Number 10, it's divisible by 2, so it's not a prime number. 19, it's only can be divided by 1 and also 19, so yes, 19 is a prime number. 25, it is a multiple of 5, so not a prime number. 35 is multiple of 5, not a prime number. 40 is a multiple of 5, so not a prime number. 48 is a multiple of 2, so not a prime number. Is there anyone having question at 7b? Or maybe I talk too fast? No? Okay, if you have no question, I will move to the 7c, a square number. When it is a square number, so it means I can change it into a multiplication and the number of multiplication have to be same. So 25, it will be equals to 5 times 5. That's why for the square number, the answer is 25. Because the other number I cannot make it like a square number. 35 is 7 times 5. 7 and 5 is different. 40 is 8 times 5, so they are not a square number. Is there anyone have difficulties or getting confused? Hello? Is there anyone who get confused?
No confusion.
Okay, if no confusion, I will move to the question 8. Please feel free to ask me whenever you have any question. Do not stay quiet.
Okay.
For the question 8, we have 0.5 plus 1.5 times 3. Remember the BITMAS rule. Which one that we have to do first? Is it the addition or is it multiplication? Which one first that we have to do? We have to finish the multiplication first. That's why we have to finish 1.5 times 3. 1.5 times 3, the answer is 4.5. And then 0.5 plus 4.5, the answer will be equals to 5. That's why I connect the first table with number 5, the first box with number 5. And then for the second box, it's already the example. So 2 plus 4, it will be equals to 6. We have to finish the B first for bracket. So we have to finish the 2 plus 4. 2 plus 4 is equals to 6. 6 times 3, it will be equals to 18. And then for the third box, we have subtraction and also multiplication. We do multiplication first. So we will read it as 8 minus 2. 8 minus 2, the answer will be equals to 6. That's why I connect it with number 6. And then for the fourth box, it will be a 10 plus 2 to the power of 3 minus 4. Remember BITMAS, so it means we have to finish the indices first. Indices in here is the power. So we have to solve the 2 to the power of 3 first. 2 to the power of 3, the answer is 8. So it will be 10 plus 8 minus 4. We have the addition and subtraction. We do from whatever comes first. The thing that comes first is addition. So we solve the addition first. 10 plus 8. 10 plus 8 is equals to 18. And then 18 minus 4, it will be equals to 14. Is there anyone having questions so far, or maybe I talk too fast?
No question, teacher.
Okay, whenever you have question, feel free to interrupt me. I'm fine if you want to interrupt me. So now for the last box, we have in the bracket 2 to the power of 2 plus 1 times 5. We have to finish the bracket first. So we have to finish 2 to the power of 2 plus 1. Inside the bracket, we have the indices and addition. Remember the rule, we have to solve the indices first. So we solve the 2 to the power of 2. 2 to the power of 2 is equals to 4. So open bracket, 4 plus 1, close bracket, times 8. And then we have bracket and multiplication. It means we have to finish the bracket first. 4 plus 1, 4 plus 1, it will be equals to 5. So we finish 5 times 8, which is equals to 40. Is there anyone who get confused so
No,
far? Really, for sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, if you have no confusion, I will move to the question 9. For the question 9, put a ring around to the correct calculation. Remember, when it is division using
Yes.
indices, we will subtract the power. When it is multiplication using indices, we will add the power. The number will remain the same. The number will not change. So now we have the 9 to the power of 8 divided by 9 to the power of 8. I do not put a circle, so it means if you answer it 9, the answer will be wrong. Can you tell me the correct answer? Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, the correct
Okay.
7. Yep. It's the one that.
Yeah, 9 to the power of 8 divided by 9 to the power of 8. Can you tell me the correct answer of this calculation? Because the answer is not 9. Can you tell
1.
me what number? Yeah, the answer it will be 1. If I want the answer in the indices form, it will be 9 to the power of how many?
9. I mean, like 0.
Yeah,
Right.
9 to the power of 0. Because when it is division, we will directly subtract the power. The power are 8. So 8 minus 8. 8 minus 8, it will be equals to 0. Okay, now for the question, this is 7 times 7 to the power of 3. There is no number on the 7, it means 7 to the power of 1. 7 to the power of 1 times 7 to the power of 3. When it is indices, we add the power. So we will do 7 to the power of 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3, it will be equals to 7 to the power of 4. Now for the another equation in here, 6 to the power of 8 divided by 6 to the power of 2. When it is division using indices, we will subtract the power. We will not divide the power. We will subtract the power. So it will be 6 to the power of 6, not 6 to the power of 8. If you ask me how come teacher, why is it not 6 to the power of 4? It will be better if you have a division, maybe you can make it into a fraction, and then for the number in here you can change it into a multiplication. 6 to the power of 8, it means there are 8 number of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. There are 8 number of 6. We divide it with 6 to the power of 2. When it is divide, I can make it into a fraction. So now divide by 6 to the power of 2. It means there are 2 number of 6 that we need to multiply. And then when we look at this, we can do cancelling the number 6. So 6 and 6 in here we can cancel. This number 6 we can cancel. So now we can count how many 6 that are left over. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 number of 6. That's why the answer will be 6 to the power of 6. Or in the easier way, you can directly subtract the power. 8 minus 2, it will be equals to 6. Is there anyone have a question on the third calculation before I move to the next calculation? Is there anyone who get confused?
No, teacher.
Okay, if you're not getting confused, I'll continue to the question 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 4. The answer will not be 4 to the power of 7. Remember, when it is a multiplication, the number will remain the same and then we just need to add the power. 3 plus 4, it will be equals to 7. So it will be 2 to the power of 7. If you still do not believe, I can make a proof. So 2 to the power of 3, it means there are 3 numbers of 2 that I need to multiply, and then I will multiply it with 2 to the power of 4. If 2 to the power of 4, it means there are 4 numbers of 2. And then when I calculate in total, when I check, in the end I will have 7 number of 2 and then I need to multiply all of them. That's why it will be 2 to the power of 7, not 4 to the power of 7. Is there anyone who get confused at question 9a before I move to the question 9b? Is there anyone who get confused?
No, teacher.
No, for sure. Okay, if you have no confusion, I will move to the 9b. Write down the common factors of 18 and 21. So if it is only factors, we can pick any other number. As long as when I multiply them, it will be equals to 18. So 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. That's all of the possible of multiplication that make 18. So the factor of 18, it will be 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Factors of 21, it will be 1, 3, 7 and 21. Now the question says common factors with letter S. It means the common factor it will be more than 1. Some of you only write the number 3, but you forget the number 1. Number 1 is common. This is 1 and 1. This is number 3. They are common. So the answer will be 1 and 3, not only 3. Is there anyone who get confused?
No, teacher.
For sure, no confusion.
For
Okay.
sure.
Okay, if you have no confusion, I will move to the question 10. For the question 10, now we have the number line in here. When we go to the right, we have to plus it by 40. So if I want to go to the left, I have to do the opposite, which is subtract by 40. So to get the number in A, I have to do 20 minus 40. 20 minus 40, it will be equals to negative 20. Okay, for the question 10, write a negative numbers in each box to make the calculation correct. So the answer will be vary depend on what number that you pick. In here it can be negative 1 times negative 18, negative 18 times negative 1, or negative 2 times negative 9, or the opposite negative 9 times negative 2, and then the last option is negative 3 times negative 6 with the opposite negative 6 times negative 3. Is there anyone who get confused at question 10?
No, teacher.
For sure, no confusion.
For sure.
Okay, if you have no confusion, I will move to the question 11. Where is it? Yeah, for the question 11, use each digit card once. So it means because it say once, you cannot repeat the card. The card cannot be used for twice. It only can be used once. This is two possibility. You can write any the first possibility or the second possibility, or if you have another possibility, maybe you can tell me. Maybe I haven't found it. You can tell me what number that is possible to put inside the boxes in here. Square number, it can be 16, can be 25, can be 64. Yeah, but we have to make sure that the number only being used once. Prime number, yes, it can be 23, can be 13, can be 41. But since I already used the number 1 on the first box, I cannot write 13 on the second box in here, because the number 1 I already used for the square number. Read the question properly. Use each digit card once. Yeah, if you have different compilation, maybe you can tell me. I can check it. Maybe I forget to write. Yeah, you can take it 13. Maybe you can make it as for the square number, you can make it as 64. So the leftover will be only 2 and 5, but 25 is not multiple of 8. So it means I cannot take 64 in here. Maybe I can take 54 as multiple of 8. This is 54. So the leftover will be only 2 and 6, but 26 or 62 is not a prime number. So if I take this kind of compilation, this will be wrong, because 26 is not a square number. Is there anyone who have different compilation, maybe different with mine? You can tell me, and then we can check it all together. For the square number, are you sure that 64 is multiple of 8? 64 is not multiple of 18, because 18 times 3, let us try 18 times 3. So 8 times 3, it will be equals to 4. And then we keep 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 54. 64 is not a multiple of 18. That's why if you write it as 64, so it will be wrong. Is there anyone who get confused? If later if you answer it like 2 boxes correct, I will give you 1 mark, or maybe all the boxes are correct but there is a number that you use it twice, I give you 1 mark. Okay, yes, Sanford, did you want to ask me any question before?
10B again.
Oh, 10B again. Okay. Is there anyone have confusion for the 11? No? Okay. If you have no confusion, I will go back to the 10B again. Later, if you want to make sure, we still have some time to check. If you have any number that you want to check, you can tell me which number that you want me to discuss more. Yeah, in total there are 25. The marks will be out of 25. So if you wrong one mark, your mark written there, it will be 24 and so on. The total marks is 25. So is there anyone having any confusion, or is there any number else that we need to discuss it more? No? Okay. If you have no question, I think that's all for today's class. At home, please try to complete the workbook from chapter 2. Tomorrow we are going to discuss all the questions from the workbook from chapter 2. So later when we already done discussing the chapter 2, I'll give you a revision question from chapter 2, and then we will have the chapter wise test for the chapter 2. Okay, so at home, please try to complete the all the question in the workbook of chapter 2. I think that's all for today's class. Good morning and thank you, students.
Thank you,
Alright.
teacher. Bye.